Resolution 41609, a resolution directing the city manager to declare entheogen-related activities amongst the lowest law enforcement priority in the city.
I move to adopt resolution number 41609.
Second.
All right. I'd like to call on Councilmember Bushnell.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to thank my peers, and especially my co-sponsors, Mayor Woodards, Councilmember Scott, and Councilmember Diaz. And I also really want to extend my appreciation and thanks to everybody that helped bring this piece of legislation forward over the last year. We've heard from so many of you over the last year, and we've heard so much from community about how psilocybin entheogens are important healing tools in many of your lives. So this will declare entheogens related activities among the City of Tacoma's lowest law enforcement priorities. It also declares that the Tacoma City Council's support for decriminalizing entheogens in order to open doors to mental health treatment research. Tacoma joins a growing list of Washington state jurisdictions, including Seattle, Port Townsend, Olympia, and Jefferson County, that have made entheogen-related activities among the lowest law enforcement priorities locally. This resolution is a testament to our commitment to exploring innovative and compassionate approaches to mental health. In the United States, there are 22 veterans a day who commit suicide. As a veteran who lives with PTSD, I'm acutely aware of the challenges faced by those struggling with mental health conditions. And I know many in our community also suffer from PTSD and other mental health challenges. Scientific studies have demonstrated the efficacy of entheogens in treating various conditions, including depression, anxiety, addiction, and PTSD. The FDA has even designated psilocybin-assisted therapy as a breakthrough therapy for treatment-resistant depression. And we heard from Paul, one of a world-renowned entheogen professor, that there are already 212 clinical trials currently underway. Scientific studies have demonstrated, so the promising research on therapeutic potential of entheogens, particularly psilocybin, offers a beacon of hope for many. By declaring our support for decriminalizing these substances, we can advocate for further research and potentially life-changing treatments. I ask all of you to join me in supporting of this resolution. And again, I appreciate all the work and efforts of everybody in the community that has brought this forward. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Bushnell, and thank you for your leadership. I'd now like to call on Councilmember Diaz.
Thank you, Mayor. I think Councilmember Bushnell covered a lot of my thoughts on the matter, but I really want to thank him for doing all the work to bring this forward. He's been working on this for quite some time. I know he's been working with all of you in the audience on your advocacy as well. And it's not lost on all of us how much you are all willing to be vulnerable and share your stories tonight. I hope that that is a helpful tool for y'all as you continue to advocate at the state and federal levels. Now you have this as a recording. You can use this going forward, and then you can use the backing of the city as another case for why this matters and why it is so helpful for folks in our community and all across the state in the country. I think it is particularly something that I've seen firsthand with different veterans in my life or different folks with PTSD in my life, the way that the use of entheogens can really help folks get through some of life's hardest things without having to rely on big pharmaceuticals or folks who might not have access to healthcare that they might need. And so I think this is a really exciting step forward, and I'm really looking forward to the work that y'all are able to do in light of some of the new barriers coming at the federal level. Hopefully that doesn't stop some of the research going forward, and I hope that doesn't stop anybody from continuing to be brave and sharing your stories and doing the work. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Diaz. Councilmember Sadalge.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank Councilmember Bushnell and all the co-sponsors for this. I just want to make a statement that I think we as a society kind of suffer from the societal issues that have been wrought by these for-profit pharmaceutical companies whose incentives to their bottom line coincide with a form of pure addiction, and we're left to pick up the pieces. And part of that incentive includes the exclusion of potential therapies like this because it protects their monopolies. and it supports policies that are steeped in deep historical racism. And I know this because I actually moved to Tacoma to help resurrect and operate a cannabis farm. I support the appropriate legalization of this substance on a state level, and so this deprioritization as a first step is something I'm absolutely happy to support. And I have to say, based on some of those really amazing stories I heard, I really want to have what you guys are having.
Thank you, Councilmember Sadalge. Are there any other questions? I'm sure if you took a poll after today, you might hear more people who would sign up. All right. Are there any other questions or comments from the council? I won't belabor this. Obviously, I was a sponsor. And I'm going to tell you what shifted my mind. In addition to amen to everything else that was said, I agree. But when you can hear a person's story, and that's why I'm so grateful for those of you who are vulnerable with your stories, and that's why I took the time to say it again. Sometimes it takes someone's personal story and the impact of something, and to be able to see, not just see it and hear, but to feel the impact that it's had on somebody's life. It changes hearts and minds. And that's why they say storytelling is so effective, but it's only effective if the story is real. And you can feel that. You can feel when the story is real. And the first time that I had the opportunity to hear Herb in these very chambers, and I didn't really have an opinion one way or another. I was in support of it. But I was just going to vote yes when it came forward. And then after hearing Herb's story, meeting with all of you who were so knowledgeable and willing to educate folks. I didn't just want to be a signer. I didn't want to just vote yes. I wanted to be a sign-on. I want to be an advocate because when you see the impact that this has on people, for all the reasons that you heard from other council members, that's what this work is about. That's why all of us show up here every week, is to be able to remove barriers and put policies in place that support the needs of those who live in our community. And you all have clearly, to even, I wouldn't say your own detriment, but it takes a lot to share your story. There's judgment, there are people who have different opinions, but the fact that you all did and do is to be commended, and I'm truly grateful for that, and look forward to making sure that not only does Tacoma do this, but that Washington State does this for all of those of you who live in Tacoma, but for everyone who lives in this state. Thank you all so much for being real advocates and for sharing your stories. With that, seeing no further council comment, all those in favor of adopting resolution number 41609 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against? The resolution is declared adopted, and whoever wrote the poem, yes, it was a unanimous vote. Thank you all so much. Look, okay, no clapping in the chambers. All right.